Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to unpack something absolutely wild. We're looking at how a simple, bare-bones travel card completely bypassed centuries of banking tradition to become a massive global financial super app. Let's dive right into the digital metamorphosis of Revolut.
So, let me ask you a kind of provocative question. Think about your bank right now. Is it stuck in 2005? Seriously, think about the friction you literally feel every single time you try to manage your money, or transfer funds internationally, or just figure out where your paycheck actually went. For decades, we all just kind of accepted this frustration as the totally normal cost of doing business with traditional banks.
It's like night and day between the old world and the new. In that clunky analog era, you're dealing with hidden fees, multi-day wait times just for a simple transfer, and that endless, soul-crushing paperwork at physical branches. But in the digital era, the expectation has completely flipped. Now, we demand instant access, absolutely zero friction, and borderless transactions. This isn't just some minor app update. It's a fundamental rewiring of how retail banking is even supposed to work.
Section 1. The digital banking revolution. Let's explore exactly how this massive shift happened. What's super fascinating here is the hyper-accelerated evolution. Back in 2015, Revolut launched to solve literally just one major pain point: expensive currency exchange for travelers. It was basically just a commission-free travel card. But watch how incredibly fast they pivoted. By 2018, they snagged their first European banking license in Lithuania. Fast forward to 2024, and they're pulling in a staggering £3.1 billion in revenue. And looking ahead to 2026, they're perfectly positioned right at the center of what industry experts are calling the Great Convergence. And all of that momentum leads us to a truly mind-blowing number: 52.5 million. That is the number of retail users Revolut has amassed globally as of early 2024. To really put that into perspective, that's like taking the entire population of South Korea or Colombia and having every single person managing their financial lives through one single mobile app. It absolutely proves just how massive this digital adoption really is.
Section 2. Anatomy of a super app. So how exactly did they build this scale?
The crucial thing to understand here is that they didn't just build a digital bank. They built a total financial ecosystem. We're talking seamless integration of multi-currency accounts right next to stock and crypto trading platforms, plus a comprehensive insurance marketplace, a loyalty program called RevPoints that hooks straight into your travel bookings, and a really specialized B2B corporate suite. And the secret sauce? Their cloud-native architecture. It lets their engineering teams ship brand new features every 2 weeks, no clunky legacy code slowing them down. And this relentless product expansion translated directly into market dominance. Revolut's market valuation totally eclipsed its main UK domestic challengers like Monzo and Starling Bank. While Monzo did an amazing job building deep, loyal engagement within the UK, Revolut's aggressive global expansion and that insanely broad product suite we just talked about, well, it allowed them to capture a vastly higher valuation. They weren't just playing the local game, they were out to win the global one. Now, to be fair, this macro shift wasn't just some lucky break created by one company. There was already a steady, massive underlying global demand for direct digital-first banking from 2010 all the way through 2020. The whole market was heavily trending toward mobile. But what Revolut did so masterfully was capture that existing wave. They took all these fragmented, annoying financial services and rolled them up into one incredibly sleek, usable interface. Section 3. The financial powerhouse. Let's look at the bottom line and see how this explosive user growth actually translates to dollars and cents. So for the longest time, the big narrative in the industry was that fintechs just burn through cash indefinitely to get users, right? Like no clear path to actual profitability. Well, Revolut completely shattered that narrative. In 2024, they hit a record £3.1 billion in revenue. That's a 72% year-over-year growth. But here's the real kicker. They also posted £790 million in net profit. They definitively proved that a digital-only model can be ridiculously lucrative when you hit scale. The real secret to those margins? It's a beautifully diversified monetization mix. They aren't just betting on one horse here. They pull in high recurring revenue from those premium tiered subscriptions, plus premium, metal, and ultra. Then they process massive global volume through interchange fees and currency margins on the core banking side. And now they're expanding margins even further by aggressively pushing into the B2B space and personal loans. When you combine that diversified engine with operational costs that are roughly 70% lower than traditional retail banks, well, you've got the ultimate formula for a financial powerhouse. Section 4, Culture and Competitive Edge. So what's the internal, psychological engine actually driving this crazy product velocity? That internal fire is perfectly captured by founder and CEO Nick Straczynski. He says, "We constantly push, rethink, and rework to get 10x further. Revolut is for those who would never settle for less. Revolut is for 10x people." That right there is their never settle culture in a nutshell. It's an environment that prioritizes intense ambition, radical honesty, and just relentless execution. They aren't looking for a 5% improvement, they literally want 10x leaps forward. And fueling that ambition is a fiercely analytical, deeply ingrained, data-driven DNA. Their internal motto is to dive deep until we get to atoms. If we don't know something, we bet, collect the data, and reiterate. They gather incredibly granular behavioral data across the entire app, and that data doesn't just sit collecting dust. It's constantly training their machine learning models to personalize your experience, stop fraud in its tracks, and spark the next big product innovation. Section 5, the Great Convergence. Okay, so what is the next big frontier for this challenger? They're planting themselves right at the absolute center of a massive industry shift called the Great Convergence. This is the blending of social media, e-commerce, and banking right into a single massive app-scale platform. Because let's face it, we don't want to switch between one app to chat, another to shop, and a third to pay anymore. We want it all embedded and seamless. Revolut is evolving to be that foundational layer where your social life, your shopping, and your money all effortlessly interact. And to make that convergence a reality, their future pipeline is all about embedding themselves deeper into our everyday lives. Take a look at these upcoming moves. First, credit card bill integration, letting you pay external credit cards right inside the app, so you literally never have to log into a competitor's system. Then, a rent payment hub with landlord management, totally streamlining your biggest monthly expense. And finally, a dynamic AI-powered insurance marketplace that pops up with the exact policy you need the second you book a flight. The ultimate goal here? Guaranteed, undeniable daily engagement. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. As the Great Convergence accelerates and these super apps become the incredibly frictionless front door for our entire financial lives, what role will traditional banks actually play tomorrow? Will they somehow manage to adapt, or will your legacy bank just fade quietly into the background, becoming nothing more than a forgotten, highly regulated back-end utility that powers the super apps we actually enjoy using? It is going to be a fascinating shift to watch. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and remember to keep questioning the systems around you.